Namaste to all JVNs. Myself JVN Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we will discuss about cryopreservation. And cryopreservation is a non-lethal storage of biological material at ultra low temperature. At the temperature of liquid nitrogen, almost all metabolic activities of the cell are ceased and the sample can then be preserved in such a state for extended periods. However, only few biological materials can be frozen to 190 degree 196 degree without affecting the cell viability. Now come to the introduction. So in recent year, with tremendous increase in the population like forest, land resources, populations of medicinal plants, aromatic plant species are going to down in their population. They are decreasing as the days are uh, as the civilization is getting more, and liquid nitrogen is the most widely used material for the cryopreservation. Dry ice also can be used. And why liquid nitrogen is used for the cryopreservation? Because it is chemically inert, relatively low cost, non toxic, non flammable, and readily available. First of all, we will go for the storage. Then if we want to use, then we can thaw the sample and determination of survival or viability before the using for the explant. And in the storage process, the frozen cell or tissues are kept at the storage at temperature ranging from 70 to minus 196 degree temperature. Temperature should be sufficiently low for long-term storage of cells to stop all metabolic activities and prevent biochemical injury. And long-term storage is best done at minus 196 degree temperature. Thawing process is done by putting ampoule containing the sample in the warm water bath which having temperature 35 to 40 degree. Frozen tips of the sample in tubes or are plunged into the warm water with a vigorous swirling action just to point of ice disappearance. It is important for the survival of the tissue that the tubes should not be left in the warm water bath after ice melt. Now, third step is determination for survival. So, regrowth of the plants from stored tissues or cells is the only test for survival of the plant material. Various viability tests included fluorescent diacetate staining, growth measurement by cell number, dry and fresh weight. Important staining methods are Evans blue staining. Evans blue staining, one drop of 1.1% solution of Evans blue is added to the cell suspension on a microscope slide and observed under light microscope. Only non-viable cells stains with Evans blue. So percentage of viable cells is equal to number of fluorescent cell into 100. Total number of cells means viable plus non-viable. Applications of cryopreservations are freezing of cell cultures, maintenance of disease-free stock, seed bank we can generate, gene bank we can generate, and storage of rare germ class we can generate. Techniques are involved. Basically, techniques are involved in this process like connection and prevention of the cells and tissues, addition of cryoprotectants like vertification and cryoprotective dehydration. Third one is the freezing, which include the three process like slow freezing method, rapid freezing method, and stepwise freezing method. Fourth one is the storage, and fifth one is the thawing. Collection of the cells. So, what are the preserved? In general, cryopreservation is easier for thin samples and small clumps of individual cells because these can be cooled more quickly and so require lower doses of the toxic cryoprotectant. Therefore, the goal of cryopreserving human livers and hearts for the storage and transplant is still some distance away, and nevertheless, use suitable combinations of cryoprotectants and regimes of cooling and resinking during the warming often allow the successful cryopreservation of biological material, particularly cell suspensions or thin tissue samples like semen, blood, stem cell, umbilical cord blood, egg, oocyte, embryo, and plant. Now come to the addition of cryoprotectants. So there are two potential resources of cell damage during cryopreservation. First one is the formation of large ice crystals inside the cell. Second is intracellular concentration of solute increasing to toxic level before or during freezing as a result of dehydration. Cryoprotectants act like antifreeze. They lower freezing temperature and increase the viscosity. What are the benefits of the vitrification? So vitrification is the process in which ice formation can't be take place because the aqueous solution is too concentrated to permit ice crystals nucleation. Instead, water solidified into a amorphous glassy state. Rapid cooling also promotes the vitrification. Cryoprotective dehydration. If cells are sufficiently dehydrated, they may be able to withstand immersion in liquid nitrogen. Dehydration can be achieved by brewing in presence of high concentration of osmotically active compounds like sugar, and virus cryoprotectants used as glycerol, mannitol, propylene, choline, etc. And if we talk about the freezing, so there are three steps as I told you. And for the storage, so storage of frozen material at correct temperature is very important. As freezing, in general the frozen cells or tissues are kept for the storage at ranging approximate -70 to 1 -196 degree temperature, and a regular and constant supply of liquid nitrogen to the refrigerator is very essential. In the thawing process, it can be done by putting the vessel containing the sample in warm water, which is ranging 35 to 45 degree temperature. Now come to the benefits and disadvantages. So benefits are like it is useful in the breeding, and cryopreserved blood can be stored for many years. And disadvantages are high cost and social issues. If we talk about the cell banking, so cell bank is a facility that stores cell of a specific genome for different purposes. And cell bank collection was done firstly at in the 1890s, and this is the sum up of this session, and this session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapith Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.